So I have pretty much been in my craft room most of the day. I've just been having a really nice rainy Saturday working on crafts and DIYs and it's just chilling really. And I have come up with three Farmhouse Patriotic DIYs that I think you're going to like. They're made with items from Dollar Tree and they are all less than $5 each to make. And like I said, I made all three of them pretty much this afternoon. So they're not super involved, and so I think you're going to like them. So let's not wait any longer. Let's jump in and I'll show you what I've been up to. For this first project, I will be using this 14-inch round sign and also the galvanized stars off of this tag sign. Both these signs are from Dollar Tree, as well as some decorative nautical rope and also one of these patriotic bows. And to paint my sign, I'm just using some navy blue craft paint. First, I'm going to remove the stickers off of the back of my sign. And if the stickers are hard to get off, a trick I always use is my heat tool, or you could even use a hairdryer to heat it up, and then they just peel off super easy. I'm going to remove the little jute hanger that it came with because I'll be putting a different type of hanger on, and then I will be filling that hole with just a little bit of hot glue so that I can just paint over it. Then I'm going to take my paint and I'm going to paint both sides and the edges of this, and it pretty much takes 2 coats to get a nice coverage on this. Sorry guys, I'm a messy crafter. It's a good thing that this paint just cleans up with water. And you don't have to paint both sides of the sign. I just decided to give it a nice finished look. Once the paint is dry, I'm going to take some chalk paint in the color ivory, and you can use any light white or ivory colored craft paint for this. And I'm going to just dry brush a little bit of this over the top of the sign, just so it's not so much of a solid blue color, but so that it gives it a little bit of a worn look. And so just get a little bit of paint on a dry paintbrush, wipe off any of the excess, and then just lightly brush it across the sign. Next, I decided what I wanted my sign to say, and I printed that out using Microsoft Word and my printer. I just picked a font that I like and sized it so it would fit, and so this is what I'm going to use for my pattern. If you have a Cricut or a Silhouette that you want to cut out vinyl lettering to put on your sign, that would save you time and would be a great way to do this as well. Since I'm going to transfer my pattern onto a dark color, I'm using white chalk on the back side of the pattern, and I'm just coloring over that. And then I will place that onto my sign and trace over it with a pencil, and this will transfer the chalk onto my sign so that I can see where I need to paint my words. Then I'm going to use more of that ivory chalk paint and a small paintbrush and just paint my word on my sign. So now I'm going to take some of that decorative nautical rope and I am going to hot glue that all around the outside edge of the circle. So the bow from Dollar Tree comes with just a little gold twisty tie around the center that is basically holding the bow together. And I'm going to remove that and replace it with a piece of jute twine just so it looks more cohesive with the whole project. Next, I'm going to use a putty knife and just remove those galvanized stars off of the tag sign, and they just pop off really easily. And of course, I will save that sign to use for another project. Now I'm going to hot glue that bow to the top of the sign and then hot glue the stars just randomly wherever I think they look good. And then to finish off the sign, I'm going to take a piece of jute twine, tie a knot at each end, and hot glue that on the back. I like to tie a knot in each end because it gives me a little bit more of a place to hot glue that to. And here is the finished sign. I really think this turned out cute. I like all of the different textures that are going on here with the rope and the galvanized stars and the bow. I think it just is really fun. For this next project, I will be using this sign from Dollar Tree with the 3 stars on the side. And I'll be using another sign that also has those galvanized stars on it as well. I really love the shape of this sign, but I really didn't care for the sparkly glitter so much, so I wanted to make this more of a farmhouse style, so I am sanding off all of that glitter and really making that design more muted. And I am going to do this over the whole sign, and I would recommend making sure that you sand in the same direction the whole time so that the marks of your sanding are all going in the same direction. And this did take a little bit of time to do, and it does make a pretty good mess with glitter and sand dust all over, but I really like the way it looks. And like I said, I did the whole sign, even including over the letters. I did make sure not to sand too much over the letters. I wanted to make sure I could still see them because I am going to use those kind of as a guide to paint over. Since I am trying to make this sign look a little bit more farmhouse style, I decided to use the ivory chalk paint and just paint over the white letters that spell out America, just to give it more of an off-white look instead of that bright white. Next, I'm going to take some of that jute twine. You can get this at Dollar Tree or Walmart or any craft store, and I am going to just outline the part of the sign that has the word America on it. And when I get to the part where the little points of the stars are overlapping, I do go around those so that it looks like the stars are kind of poking into that. Then I'm going to take one of the galvanized stars off of that tag sign. And I'm going to take some jute twine and wrap it about 5 times around my 4 fingers, and I'm just going to kind of make a little bow that I'm going to put underneath that galvanized star as an embellishment. So I'll just glue that jute bow on the center star and then glue that galvanized star in the center of that. And to finish this one off, I'm going to use a piece of the decorative nautical rope and tie a knot in each end of that, and then I'm going to glue those knots on the front of the sign over the holes that were there from the original hanger. And I think this is a great way to change up the style of a sign from Dollar Tree and make it fit more into my decor. I like the glittery decorations sometimes, but I really do like more the muted farmhouse look, and that's kind of how my house is decorated. So I think this fits in really well. For my last project, I will be using a picture frame from Dollar Tree. This one I have just taken all of the glass and the backing off of, and I've painted it white, and then I'm going to be using this metal flower decor piece. Dollar Tree also has these other metal decor pieces for the 4th of July or for Patriotic, this heart one, and then there's also a star, so you could use any of these. I will also be using just a scrap piece of foam board, and so I'll be using the picture frame to basically just cut a piece of the foam board the size of my picture frame. And this frame that I used was, I think, for a 5x7 picture. The frame is actually larger because it had a mat in it. The frame itself is about 7x9, I believe. So I'm just tracing around my picture frame, and then I'll put a piece of cardboard underneath to protect my desk and use a utility knife or X-Acto knife to cut that out. Now, because the foam board is like a white, I am going to take my ivory chalk paint and paint over this. When you paint on foam board, you want to make sure that you don't have your paint too wet because it can make it bubble and kind of wrinkle up. So just keep that in mind. But I'm just going to do a light coat of the ivory chalk paint on this. And that's the same color that I put on my picture frame as well. Now I'm going to remove the flower from the little sign at the top. I'm going to leave the chains attached to the flower. And I will save that little God Bless America sign for another project, another day. And again, since I'm going for the farmhouse look, I'm going to take a little bit of black craft paint and a foam brush, and I'm going to put just a very little bit of the black paint on this foam brush, dab off the extra, and I'm going to just dry brush across the white petals of this flower just to make them look a little bit worn and aged. And then I will basically be doing the same thing using a little bit of the ivory chalk paint on the blue and the red petals. So now I have my frame laying face down as well as the flower laying face down, and I'm going to hot glue those chains to the top of the frame, but like down inside the frame so that you can't see where they're glued from the front. And so then my flower will just be hanging from the top of the picture frame. When I painted my picture frame, I should have also painted the back because you can see the black inside the picture frame, and so I'm just taking some of the paint now and painting all around the inside of the picture frame. Next, I'm going to take my foam board that I painted and I'm going to hot glue that to the back of the picture frame. I felt like the picture frame needed a little bit of embellishment, so I wanted to keep it pretty simple, so I thought I would just take some jute twine and glue one strand of this all around the front of the picture frame. I also felt like this needed a little bit of something underneath the flower, maybe some words or something. I decided just to hand write some words, but you could use stickers or paint something on, or even your Cricut or Silhouette machine. And I just decided I wanted something small and not real bold, so I decided to do this. And it's not perfect. It would be easier to write this on before this is all assembled because the frame was a little bit in the way, but I still like the way it looks. And then again, just to finish it off, I did just the little jute twine with a knot in the end, glued it to the back for a hanger, and that's it. I really like the simplicity of this. I think it just looks really cool. I don't know. I just really like it. And so I don't know which one of these projects are my favorite. Let me know in the comments which one you like. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button if you haven't already, and set your notifications so that YouTube will notify you when I upload new videos. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a blessed day.